Hello everyone. Phoenix61 here with your Legend shenanigans for the day. So today we're in Voyager. We had pulled this from a crate from live stream. I gotta post that clip of me pulling these crates because we went and bought the the 20 crate package or whatever it was. And as I'm pulling crates and opening them, I'm getting nothing Star Trek related for the vast majority of the time. Then the last few crates, we start getting Commanders, and we do pop Voyager here. So I'm gonna say it right off the bat. Like, this is, I don't know, my opinion. The closest thing I have to it's probably Des Moines. Right, is very similar. I think it's also similar to Salem, which is in the store in the Forge section that you can buy for steel. Right, but the biggest difference here is going to be, I think you only get the armor piercing rounds, so no high explosives. Obviously no torpedoes, right? You do get option for smokescreen, which I would recommend, right? You do have to sacrifice. Your other choice in that area is sonar, right? Which is always beneficial, right? But I definitely lean into the smoke quite a bit. Maybe it's just my play style, right? But the other alternative for getting the ship, and the one that I would recommend is actually just not getting it. But the other alternative for it is you can buy it outright. You know, during the Star Trek collaboration, I think it's like 22,500. Now, we pick up these torpedoes because there's this German cruiser next to us has sonar going for sure. Otherwise I would not have this Shrouder. Otherwise, I would not have seen those torpedoes from that Dalian that's up there. Yeah. So, but yeah, the AP on this thing is really, really good. The problem with it is it's very circumstantial too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of ships are, right? Like you need to have the right distance, the right angle. Right, you know, like that kind of thing. You can do, decent amount of, little chunks here and there pretty consistently against ships that are further out. So, I don't know, maybe part of it's, yeah, you see, we're going to get, 5 busted shells there, right? So I'll try and aim a little higher. And we do slightly better there, so it's just like those heavily armored ships we definitely struggle with. I think we end up with this, like a Yamato that's like bow in here, right? I was hoping to just get the full elimination on the Dalian there, but 7 overpens there. Right, so it's almost like it's very armor specific, right? But it's a good ship. I just wouldn't buy it outright is kind of what I'm getting at, right? It took me quite a few games just to kind of have one that I felt good about posting up on YouTube, right? We had some good games that just weren't entertaining, decent scores with wins, and then vice versa, decent scores with losses. So I doubt my win percentage is anything good with this ship. I always am like, unless it's really my style, right? Like I always struggle with ships when I first get them. Like I gotta get in a few games before I start having good games. So, but yeah, so. We'll try and, I'm keeping an eye out for the Dalian, and I really got to pay attention to where this Yamato is that's over here, because it's definitely one of those, I've definitely gotten dev struck in this ship at least twice now, just because I wasn't paying attention across the map. It's definitely, it's definitely a bullet magnet. When I have never gotten shot blind fired at while sitting in my smokescreen more in any other ship than I have with this one, right? Like I feel like people just want to kill it. So that's something fun to look out for. But yeah, my best comparison is probably like Des Moines, which is legendary tier, right? And which I don't do particularly well in. Like I have a good game here and there, and I'll play it every once in a while just because I haven't played it in a long time. But that's my personal closest comparison to what I have. And I'll kind of show you. It looks super, super similar to Des Moines. We'll show you at the end of the video here. And I'll show you how the commander is set up too. We do have Janeway on here. I was trying to play around with, you could use Norman Scott, right? Like your free-to-play commander's probably fine too. Just make sure you build into the AP shells, right? Some of those guys are going to have options on them for HE. So use the new presets options that's out there, right, and build yourself a full-blown AP shell build for this ship. But yeah, see, this is kind of where, you know, if you're closer up on something like a Yamato, I was definitely doing really, really great damage on ships like that. But we're kind of at a distance here, and that's, I guess that's where the struggle is. So I've got to aim high, and we're doing decent chunks of damage. It's just, it's nothing fun and crazy and huge, right? Like, like you want to get when you see, you know, the broadside of a Yamato, right? So, but yeah, we were closer up. You know, we were close up to the Dalian. We got all over pens. If we're far away from Yamato, and we're getting kind of just little bits of damage here and there, right? But it adds up. It definitely adds up. So we'll take advantage of our smoke screen, and we'll sit here and just kind of damage farm him. And then once he's gone, we'll go and cap C. This does end up being a pretty competitive game. We are down a ship right now. But yeah, I've definitely personally leaned into the smoke screen quite a bit. Your other option was a radar in that spot, or a sonar, sorry. That's very, I've definitely had to learn a little bit more. You know, you guys know me, I don't have a lot of patience to start with this game, so. But yeah, I definitely have to be cautious and patient and know your positioning very well. Utilize island cover as much as you can. Use your smoke when you're using it if you've got smoke equipped, right? So just something to keep in mind. I'm gonna fast forward just a tiny bit here, because really it's me turning in and capping zone C. So we'll speed things up a little bit just for this. But now that Yamato's gone, we're even on ship counts. Both destroyers on, you know, the destroyer on each team is gone. So the struggle here is going to be who wants to spot ships for us. But what we're going to do is, right, we've got this flank covered, and we've got the B hole is captured already. I think our destroyer must have got that early in the game, right? So we don't need to push, right? So we can wait for these guys to come to us. Tulsa, nobody has line of sight on us, so I'll hold off on my last smoke screen here. And we'll just try and get some cheap shots on him. It looks like he's backing up, so we'll aim as high as we can here. Getting, yeah, 500 damage, right, like, and then some bounces. So yeah, since we don't need to push, right, we've got the zones, let's wait for them to come to us. And then I think this Navarin on my team that's off to my left, off to my port side here, I think he's gone. Like, I think the player is not playing anymore because he's just stationary right there. So we got a very healthy Ohio. Yeah, he's not moving. I think that's when I realized it. So we're technically down a ship as well here now. And we've got our Schlieffen that's hanging out in the back. He's doing the smart thing, right? He's low on health. Like, at first I was like, come on, man, get up here and help spot some stuff. But he's low on health, so he's doing the smart thing by hanging back. And then our Yamato, so we're going to lean on our Yamato at minimum to spot the remaining ships for us. We get spotted here, so I'm going to drop the smoke. I'm sure it's one of those other two battleships that's off to the left over here. So just checking to make sure there was no shells coming. And then here we're gonna, like, you know, like the bullets definitely do better when you can fire, you know, when you can close the distance, right? Get a little bit closer. But then you're, of course, putting your ship more at risk, right? So there's a balance there that I personally am struggling with a little bit here. So my preference at the moment has been to keep, you know, I built a little bit, I added a little bit of range with the commander build. And so we're kind of just doing this where we're just kind of taking little bits and pieces of damage away from people when they're at a distance. But yeah, it definitely had more success with bigger damage hits when ships were up closer, but then I also died quicker in those scenarios too. So yeah, see, somebody blind fired at us there. Like, right, like he can, this Ohio especially, I'm pretty sure, like, he obviously can see that Yamato that's in front of him. But he's shooting at me. You can't see me. There we go. 7,000 damage almost there. Right, so there's good chunks, right? We're up to 100,000 now. Right, so there's the potential's there. I just haven't experienced that awesome, fun super fun game yet with Voyager, so we'll keep trying. We'll keep playing her. We'll get one or two more videos out there with her before the update ends for sure. But yeah, my personal opinions right off right off my initial feelings, my initial thoughts and feelings, guys, are I would definitely not pick it up for the 22,500 doubloons or whatever it is in the store, right? I got plenty of other ships that are similar, that I do better with, that I have more fun with. It definitely looks cool. I will get on board with that. So, hardcore Star Trek fans, have at it. Right. Smoke screen's running out, so we're going to get ourselves on the move. And then here's what I'm talking about, right? Let's just watch how much damage we take on here. Right? Almost everything. Right? Even with trying to, like, angle, like, I guess I needed to be angled significantly more. I think our concealment, I've got it to 11.1 or something, right? So this Prussian's close enough to have me spotted even without firing guns. So I'm going to take a couple shots at him just to get the defense, right? To keep the zone out of their hands, because I have a feeling we're going to need the points, right? Yamato, I'm not sure how much the Yamato on my team's doing or how well he's doing. We know this Schlieffen's super low on health, so if he gets spotted, he's probably going to go down. So I'm just paying real close attention to points. There we go, didn't take any damage there. And I gotta make sure not to run into this island. I was hoping to get those front turrets on target 2 here. And I'm kind of weighing whether I think I need to get one more salvo off on him, or if I should let him have the zone, right? Like, because we might die, right? If we fire, we're gonna get spotted. So I'm gonna hold off. I'm looking at points. We're up about 200. If I lose Yamato, which is very likely at this point, yeah, they're going to cap B for sure. Once that Prussian goes behind that island, though, we should be able to shoot at this Ohio. Yep, so nobody's got line of sight on us now, so we'll unload on the Ohio while our Yamato is still alive and spotting these guys. And then we're just playing the points game at this point, right? So we kept B as long as we could, let the enemies push up into us because we had the advantage, and they didn't do it good enough, right? So we'll win out on points, even though we lose the Yamato, and I think we do get the kill on the Ohio here. Yep. So ending with 142,000 in damage. I mean, that's not half bad, right? That's a pretty good game. It just didn't feel like crazy exciting, right? So I was like trying to find one that was like a little more fun and entertaining to throw up on the channel. But this is what we got for now, right? So we'll take a peek at the leaderboard for this game, and I'll go through how I built out the commander. Like I said, like I don't think, Janeway, I don't think she's a must-have, but she does pair well with the ship, right? So it's fine. We do get 3rd place there. I think you should get some extra XP for being a survivor there at the end, right? But, whatever. So, aiming system for slot 1. I am using propulsion since we're using the smoke screen. It's nice to be able to stop and start while in the smoke screen. And then concealment, right? And then Janeway, she's fine, but I don't think she's, like, super powerful or anything. But for inspirations, we went AP shell damage. And then I added a little bit of range with Nicolay here. Yeah, so I would go AP pen multiplier, and then she's got, damage against battleships, damage against cruisers, right, for her base trait. And then we're using Piercer in slot 1 here. And then I am using Before It's Too Late because we don't have the sonar, right? If you were using the sonar option, I would go full speed ahead for sure. I would take away Before It's Too Late. So just something to keep in mind. And then Punch Through. So originally I was using the other perk there on that row, which is Beyond Range, and that was giving me quite a bit of range that I didn't really feel like I needed, so I switched that to Punch Through and then added Nicolay as the inspiration. And she has Precision Strike, right, which does, more damage when they're above 50% health, or in a better shell grouping when they're below, or what other way around or whatever. And then Fully Packed gives you the extra smoke screen and heal, so that's always nice. You get the permanent camo with her, so we'll take that off. So this is basically, I don't know, to me it looks like a Des Moines. So you're down a tier. You just don't get HE shells. And then, yeah, we'll go and take a peek at Des Moines. It's my other cruisers. Right, so here's all my American cruisers. Or all the higher tier ones anyway. Higher tier premiums. Right, so there's Des Moines. Right, I think I don't know, the AP is definitely, you know, more, I don't know. I like how the shells fly, right? Like, they feel better, easier to aim. And then the other option is Salem in the Forge for 25,000 steel, which, you know, that takes a long time to save up that amount of steel, especially when there's other things you can spend your steel on, right? But yeah, Salem's similar, and I think Salem's got HE shells, so yeah. So yeah, you're kind of missing out on the HE, which is fine because you're bringing it down, right? Like bring it down from legendary tier. And then yeah, smoke screen or sonar, and then heal or engine boost is your other choice for that other slot. So of course I'm using smoke screen and heal. I can't imagine using the engine boost. I know there's somebody out there that's going to be like, the engine boost is way better because of this reason, right? Like, but man, like you take a bad hit, you're going to want that heal. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah, the Citadel's sticking way up above the waterline, so that it's easy to take those big hits. That's probably the biggest weakness of the ship, right? So, but yeah, I definitely enjoy it. I would just say I wouldn't buy it outright. That's a little bit too much. But that's what, 22,500 doubloons is in that like $50-$60 range-ish worth of doubloons, I think, somewhere around there. So, which you can buy like a full-blown game for, right? Is always my argument. You just go buy a completely different game. And play that. But thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, I'll try and put out a couple more videos on this one, so make sure you are following. I try to do Legends videos every day, and then I do occasionally hop on live stream, so we'll see you guys next time.